So what would you say is a difficult chapter, or the most difficult chapter was for you to write in your memoir? Were there anything that was hard for you to write as you were going through it?
I think the letter to Rob. Because, we had a great relationship when it all started.
Yeah.
And like any relationship, well, they go through ups and downs. But in this equation, drug became part of that.
Yeah.
So because of his drug addiction, he changed. He was not the same person.
Yeah.
We were not the same friends. And everything he lived for at some point in his life was drugs. It started, it was in increments. It went from there to there, but I saw it. And I saw the need that he had for it. And that's the only thing he had on his mind. And so our relationship changed as a result. Mm-hmm. I was doing the same thing, but not to the extent that he was doing, until I realized, I can see the edge from where I'm at. He's already on the edge. Mm-hmm. So if I don't want to get any closer to that. So the voice again that's been talking to me, it's told me, hey, you know exactly what's going to happen. And I went to rehab as well. And there's only 3 places. Police station, the precinct, the hospital, and then 6 feet under. Those are the 3 options. You might be lucky and land in a hospital. You might be lucky or not. And I could see that, and I could see the friends that he had. I was like, And during that time, I was focusing on music, because when everything exploded, I kind of looked inward and thought, okay, what do I want to do? Do I want to go back to Europe? Like, okay, well, dude, it's over. But I'm not that type of guy. I didn't know that I was so resilient. Mm-hmm. I had no idea. It's just my will to survive was strong. But my will to live my dream was even stronger.
Absolutely.
And the fact that that's all I had known. I never had another job other than, making music. Mm-hmm. And it made me feel better, even though I was not well. When I played the classics, when I played the Stevie Wonders, the Marvin Gaye, the James Brown, and listening, and it gave me hope. Bob Marley gave me hope. And I said, this is what I want to do. I don't know how much work I'm going to have to put in. I always say that, like, work hard, work harder, think big, think bigger. Mm-hmm. Don't listen to the noise, because, bullying online started around MySpace. And for me, before that, with everything, so people in the streets or radio DJs or TV personality or, Arsenio was making jokes, and it was rough. It was rough out there. But then I had to turn out the noise to zero and say, okay, it is what it is. You just have to go through it. Yeah. But Rob being adopted and being abandoned, that's how, it's hard for people that are adopted, because they think they're being abandoned until you do the work and you see that there are circumstances, but you're a young human being. So for him, when people started to leave us and the fan base was kind of falling and the press was going after us, he felt abandoned. Now, drug became his best friend.
Yeah.
He lost himself in that, because the void within his heart was opening up again. And me, I didn't have a great life with the family. My parents were divorced, but my love for music was strong. Mm-hmm. So it was my anchor. And when I started making music and getting better at it, it gave me confidence to move forward.
Nice. So what would you say that you miss the most about Robin? How do you keep his legacy alive through Milli Vanilli?
What I miss most about him was the spontaneity, the spontaneous factor. My dude was wild. He was wild. It was just like, he had no fear. Mm-hmm. I was more fearful, but he had no fear at all. And through the years, I learned a few things from him. And he learned from me too, but I learned that he learned about what I taught him by being later on in life. In interviews, I heard him speak. I was like, oh, that sounds more like me now. Okay. And I had to learn to be more fearless.
Mm-hmm.
Fearless. And you have to be.
Yeah.
And the journey that I took on, I like the word delusional. And people were like, man, stop it. You got an accent. Go back where you came from. It was rough. It was like, damn, but I was like, it's okay. You think what you think, but it took me years to kind of turn the noise to zero.
Yeah.
It's not easy. But if the haters are talking, I guess they're talking. If they stop talking, they're still talking. So it's cool, but I don't let it affect me. As a matter of fact, it could deter you from living your dreams. Your dreams. Not dream, but dreams.
Yeah.
Right? So let them talk. Do what you do. Shine. And the more you shine, well, some people are going to come. You know? Because you're good. When you're good at what you do, and you touch a nerve as well. Because sometimes when you keep going and they're stopped, you make them feel uncomfortable.
Absolutely. And you told us earlier that you have new music coming out. Your EP, Life is Beautiful.
Yeah.
How was the creative process for that project? And how would you say that this is a new moment or introducing the new Fab Morvan as compared to what people know of you from your early career?
Well, the thing, I'm sitting on maybe 10 albums.
Whoa.
I've been writing for years. I just didn't want to get a check, a loan, and have them own everything. So I've been making music for years. I've been releasing sparsely here and there. I'll have different types of label under my label. I'm going to have a dance label. I'm going to have an instrumental label. I'm going to have a collective where I do all kinds of music.
Yeah.
And I'm going to have a pop R&B label as well. So what you're going to hear right now is just a slice of music that I've been making through the years. I'm thinking it's good to start with that. Let's start with that. It's also some of the most recent as well, but they're compatible because we made them in a row. All the music that I've been making through the years, there was no pressure. I've learned to make music under no pressure. I was just making music to make music, not to make music, because I've heard many people say, when you're down, just make, man. You never know. When you go back to the crates, you're like, what? I got that too? Nice.
Got a whole vault.
Exactly. I got a vault, So if you look at Kanye, for example, like some of his best albums, those songs were 10, 15 years old. So I think you got to keep
Sometimes
making.
You got to let it sit and simmer. Yeah,
simmer and go back, take a distance, and then you can pick and choose.
Yep.
So this first EP is going to be 6 songs, and it's a flavor. It definitely is a flavor.
Nice.
R&B, of course. R&B is part of, my musical education in America. So it's flavored with R&B.
I love that.